darling. Welcome back. Cellulite and Love Tarot, or Hillary for short. I hope that you're having a fantastic day. Man, this smudge really be smudging right now. Like, it is so hazy. Okay. It's Freaky Friday, which just means it's a reading about how to be your freak flag flying self. I'm going to start off with the wild unknown archetypes to sort of figure out who I'm speaking to, maybe what your situation, your life experience, a big focus has been for you, and the purpose behind it. And then we'll get into tarot and we'll see what wants to come out, what advice you might need, what, encouragement, praise that you might be seeking to receive. We'll see what wants to come out. But ultimately, no matter what this reading says, I want you to feel wholly and completely acceptable exactly the way that you are right now. And if you improve like wine, then you improve like wine, okay? But if you stay the same, that's okay too. It's all about you liking you, you loving you, you being the version of yourself that you want to be, and making yourself proud, okay? Let's jump into it. I haven't cleared in a couple days with my selenite clearing. Get into it. Maybe someone's clumsy. Someone a klutz. I just saw 144, so maybe you feel like you're part of like the 144,000 gang. I don't really have any beliefs about that, but that might be significant for someone. Spirit, my higher self, my darling's higher self, thank you so much for using me as a channel to guide and instruct. I ask for the most clear and concise messages, information, feelings, and sensations. Ooh, I got a bright ringing in my right ear. What was I saying in my prayer? I ask for the most clear and concise messages, information, feelings, and sensations to flow through me for the betterment of my darling 222 and for the highest good of everyone involved. Thank you so much, Spirit. And thank you for being here. I love you. I appreciate you. It's been weeks since I got to comments, and I am planning on actually getting to those today. Or Friday, because I'm recording this Thursday. I'm trying to make time. My schedule's been I've been very busy since my daughter's out of school for summer, and I just feel bad not spending as much time, I want to spend as much time with the kids as I can, so that's why I've been not responding very well, but I do love and appreciate every single one of you. Okay, Spirit, who am I reading for today, and what has their story been like? What has their energy been like? How has their experience been? Ooh. Wow. You could have blue eyes, or blue eyes could be significant. That feels. The self. And the vow. Okay. So we've got the mystic. That's the one with two blue eyes. Doop, doop. We've got the river. The storm. Excuse my shakiness. I don't know why I perpetually shake, and I don't want to find out. I'm ignoring it, okay? Until it becomes a real problem. The empty room. And then, of course, the self, okay? At the bottom, we have the vow, the mother, and agape. Wow, and the judge. Okay. Those all feel significant. I'm going to pull those out. The vow, the mother, agape, and the judge. Okay, who I am speaking to, and the starborn is there too. I feel like that's significant, but I'm just going to leave it there. I feel like I'm talking to someone who is out of this world, okay? I feel like you felt like you never belonged anywhere. I feel like maybe you always felt like the odd kid out as a child, or just kind of like misunderstood, right? I feel like you daydreamed a lot, and you had a lot of imaginary worlds that you would kind of venture to. Maybe you had a hard time focusing on your tangible reality. Maybe you were kind of, as my mother called me, a space case, okay? But this has been because you're actually, like an otherworldly spirit. Like, from childhood, you were actually very in touch with the spiritual realm. maybe you didn't realize that's what it was, but that's what it was, okay? You were very sensitive to the feelings of others, to the experiences of others, and thus you felt everything very deeply, okay? I feel like a big part of your becoming, or possibly where you have any feelings of disapproval of yourself, any harsh criticism, came from possibly a mother figure, okay? Perhaps you feel like you had to be the mother in your family, okay? You had to really take care of others, male or female, it doesn't matter, you know. what do they say? He, she, they, them, it, whatever. It doesn't matter. You felt like you had to take care of everyone because you were so sensitive, and you could tell what people needed. You could tell what people were feeling. You could tell what people were even thinking. It's almost like you just kind of knew. And so anywhere you went, you were just drawn to try to meet and know people. But in response, I feel like you maybe felt shut out and misunderstood. Like there's always been this disconnect between how much I want to really invest and know and understand people versus how much people really invest and understand me, even in your own family system. So you felt very much nurturing, like you needed to take care of your family, your friends, your siblings, whatever it is, responsibilities. And in that process, you became very critical of yourself because perhaps you took any sort of rejection, any sort of rejection, any criticism as a fault within you, because you just felt like, man, I'm not normal, okay? But this has been part of your soul path to, as you know, an aware adult, becoming very vowed and dedicated to loving yourself the way that you intrinsically loved the world and humanity around you from being a small child, okay? You are full of the love of God. Like, I feel like you're a vessel that just love pours from you. And people, it's so funny because I feel like you're so critical of yourself because of where you feel like you have been misunderstood, but then everyone feels like they can come to you and they can air their problems, they can tell you their dark secrets, they can expose the parts of them that they are ashamed of, and you greet them with love and no judgment. You are a very inclusive person, and it is life-changing to people. And I feel like this process of your becoming and yourself has been to reflect on your own personal story, your own personal shadow, and give yourself that same unconditional, non-judgmental love and acceptance and inclusivity that you give everyone around you. It has not been easy. I feel like for a good spell of your life, you felt like you had no idea who you were. Like when it comes to figuring out who I am, I have no idea. I have no idea. I feel like whatever I'm told from other people, people misunderstand me, so I can't take what they say about me to be true because I'm misunderstood. But then whenever I come to figure out who I am, anything good about myself, I come up empty-handed. I come up critical of myself, you know, because I want to make sure that I am reflective and I'm aware of my faults and I'm aware of my problems, and I am constantly trying to improve myself. But then that has created this inner storm where you just are constantly at conflict. You're always trying to find, where am I wrong here? Where could I have done that better? Where was I navigating out of shadow there? Because you're so extremely self-aware, right? This process is normal, okay? I feel like you're already kind of through the hard part of this, right? I feel like you're understanding that you do deserve the same love and compassion and non-judgment and inclusivity that you give other people, but I feel like you're learning how to implement it now, okay? I feel like right now, the universe, you know, which you are a spectacular little speck of the universe yourself, okay? So, you know, me telling you this is just another version of yourself telling you this. You're phenomenally gifted and unique and needed and appreciated and spectacular. You're just spectacular. I feel like that's just your energy, who you are. This incarnation of the universe is spectacular, right? And I feel like you're learning how to really believe that and accept that. for yourself. Okay, I'm going to just put these like down here. Sure. Okay, let's jump into tarot. Let's see. I love whoever I'm reading for already. I love whoever I'm reading for. Let's see. What has your... What have you been working on for yourself right now? What's been your main focus? Let's figure that out, okay? And then we'll kind of get the deep stuff around maybe what the universe would like to communicate through me to you about this idea, okay? All right, Spirit. I'm also being called to clarify this first. It might be one card, it might be a set of cards that comes out for what you're focusing on with yourself, but I'm told to clarify it with cosmic insights here, so I'm going to do that, okay? Okay, Spirit. What has my darling here, the spectacular speck of the universe, been focusing on for themselves? I can't make it up. Feeling unified and whole within yourself and the divine and humanity. Feeling like you belong, like you're included. Okay, with the Lovers there, choosing to see the best. And this one is also poking out the Three of Cups. Literally trying to find your soul family, your soul community. Feeling connected and embraced and safe emotionally in the comfort of others. Okay? This is what you've been focused on right now. This is kind of like where you're like, how can I love myself the same way I love others? Right? Look at that. Oh. I'm being told that basically with this, right? You might be looking for some experience outside of you to make you feel like, oh, see, now I feel like I belong. Now I feel like I am included. But Spirit's really emphasizing that because you decide to belong, that means you belong. That feeling, that experience that you might be waiting for outside of you to click is your choice to just say, I love myself unconditionally because I decide to. I tell myself with that love that I belong. I'm spectacularly unique and I still belong because I decide to. The power is all in you deciding your truth, not in something outside of you making you feel that way. Okay? It's all about a decision within you and your higher self, right? Feeling that fully empowered version of yourself. Okay, let's clarify this with the cosmic insights like I was guided to do. Okay, Spirit, tell me some more information about this Lovers and the Three of Cups for what Darling is really trying to implement and grow in their self-becoming stage. You know, okay, before I get this, I don't want to show up close because like I think you two might have a problem with that. I've seen that from other readers, but these two people in the picture are, it's, you know, Adam and Eve in the garden, so they are stark booty naked, okay? And so I'm kind of getting the feeling of like feeling emotionally close with others, feeling excessively vulnerable, feeling very overexposed in that way, right? Any sort of emotional sensitivity, emotional vulnerability feels like you're overexposed, okay? All right, let's see. And that's maybe what you're trying to work through, is not feeling overexposed. All right, what is this? Love spell. All about self-love. You've been bewitched. Okay, you know, and then spy. There's, yeah, someone's got their eye on you. You're doing your research. Give it time. Everything in divine timing. Okay, so again, I feel like the spy energy is you trying to search for feeling loved outside of you. Trying to feel like it's going to click. I'm going to feel like I'm lovable. When's it going to happen? When am I going to feel it? When's the magical moment? I'm looking and I'm looking and I'm looking, and Spirit's basically like, your affirmations right now are super important. And I want you to view, here's a really good affirmation for your own self-love, okay? I want you to start embodying and feeling like this quote, everything I do is a love spell. Everything I do, the way I walk, the way I talk, the way I think, the way I speak, the way I love, the way I get frustrated, everything I do is a love spell. And I am bewitched by myself. I love myself unconditionally. Okay? I'm worthy no matter what I'm doing, no matter where I'm at. And that starts in me, and then I'll see it externally, right? Everything I do is a love spell. And if I'm under my own love spell, then, wow, I really am loved because I decide to be, okay? Then give it time, right? Now, when I say give it time, I'm not one of those people that thinks that like time heals all wounds, because I don't believe that. I've experienced the exact opposite. Whenever you're dealing with time fixing things or time, you really also need to be investing in the intention behind that time, okay? Yeah, you might set an intention and then it not feel exactly right immediately, but you just trust, hey, my intention is that I'm going to love myself. My intention is that I'm going to feel belonging, that I'm going to speak belonging into my existence, that I'm going to speak including myself, not excluding myself from connections and the world and humanity. The more I speak that and decide that, intend that to happen, then the easier it gets with time. But the intention is very important, that consistent intention, okay? Yeah, all right, let's see what's going on. All right, what is kind of the blockage to this feeling right now for my darling, for this complete, unconditional self-love, that overexposed feeling, that connection with humanity and the world? What's the blockage here? 6 of Swords. The swords are the mind, okay? The thoughts, communication even. In the 6 of Swords, it's where the thoughts interact with water, which would be emotions. And the 6 of Swords is specifically talking about people moving out of the conflict zone, the 5 of Swords, a war zone, and finding refuge, okay? Going elsewhere, going to a conflict-free zone, right? Moving forward, moving on. So I feel like the blockage is that you have a hard time not feeling every single negative, conflicting thought about yourself as intrinsically true. So this blockage is just like, I don't know how to move on from the way that I feel or the way that I think. Like how it's this being able to separate, just because I think it doesn't make it true, right? And also empowering yourself to decide, I get to decide that what I think is true. I get to decide whether or not I believe that, okay? There's a real need for you to empower yourself so that you can mentally find refuge from a mental conflict zone that has been very critical and cutting with the swords, very, very intentionally judgmental over yourself, over the way you speak, over the way you interact, over your communication style even. And intentionally, with love, addressing these thoughts and saying, no, that's not true. Yes, that's true. I don't have to believe that. I can work on that, sure, but does that change my lovability? Does that change my belonging? It doesn't, okay? It's almost like, yeah. Mm-hmm. There's something here. Finding the power to calm the emotions with your thoughts, specifically, because on one side of this boat, the waters are rocky and wavy, and on the other side of this boat, the water is still and calm. Okay, that's all I'm getting for that message. Could be an Aquarius or a Gemini, because this is healing with the star on bottom. Yeah. Okay, what happened in the past that is sort of kick-starting this journey for my darling? What happened recently? The Knight of Swords. I feel like you had a realization. It's almost like you heard your own thoughts as a bystander, okay? Does that make sense? I feel like almost like an out-of-body experience where it's like you had a thought that was very critical, and maybe you spoke it out loud and someone was like, why are you saying that to yourself? Is that what you think about yourself? And so then you had to reflect, and you were like, wow, that's what I just said to me. That's what I think about me. That's what I believe, because that thought, that idea just came out of me so immediately, and it felt so true, and it felt so believable, even though it was very it was very criticizing. It was very hurtful. And yet it just didn't, it felt like nothing. Like I just said it, and that was normal. And you're like, wow, what I think is really kind of twisted about myself. What I think about myself is really twisted, and yet it feels so normal to me. That's probably not normal. And then again, we're looping, right? We're looping. We're like, okay, now I feel even less normal. I already didn't feel normal, but now I feel even less normal. Okay. Can't catch a break, can I? No. Okay. What does my darling expect with this whole situation of working on their thoughts? What are they expecting? What are they aware of? What is darling aware of here? Nine of Swords. You possibly deal with chronic anxiety or insomnia, and you find yourself spiraling in negative thoughts and negative beliefs and negative scenarios. When you go down a what if avenue, whenever it involves anything that you want to do that's positive, you immediately talk yourself off of that positive ledge, off of, taking a leap forward and feeling empowered, and you find every reason why you should feel insecure and anxious, and that you're not ready, and that you're not prepared, and that things are going to crash and burn. So you are understanding, like, wow, I feel very trapped in my own mental landscape that only I can fix. I'm aware of this. I'm aware that I'm perpetuating this problem within myself. And in that same breath, I'm terrified that I don't know that I won't be able to fix it. Okay? But you're aware of it. What do they say? Awareness is the first step to healing, or something like that. Okay. What is my darling not aware of about this journey? What do they not see or recognize is going on behind the scenes? Seven of Swords. Okay. All these thoughts. You really could be an air sign. We got heavy air out here. It's literally sword, 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 sword. Gemini. There's one thing of cups, and that's all about community and friendship and connecting. You know what you don't realize? I want to clarify this, but I've already kind of got a message. So what you are not aware of is that this critical voice that you have in your head is, first of all, it's a liar. You believe that it's true. But it's also the voice of any other time in your life that people have made remarks or made you feel like, again, that you were not belonging, that you were weird, that you were off-putting. You are then perpetuating those voices in your head yourself, right? They're not actually your soul's voice. That's not actually your soul. That's not the divine speaking to you. It's like you don't realize that this is just your ego making up voices through all of the experiences that you've had with other people's egos, okay? Clarify the Seven of Swords for me real quick. The Sun, literally from your childhood, okay, and death. There was a moment in your childhood that you really felt like, I felt the light dim out of me in that moment. I can share an experience because it doesn't even have to be that big of a deal. Okay, so I'll share an experience that happened with me as a child to sort of give how small these moments can be, but how big of an impact they can make, okay? I have a moment from my childhood where, as an adult, I can now reflect and understand that my father in this situation was highly overstimulated and exhausted from driving and had a long day and probably was worried about bills and all of these other things. I can understand now as an adult, but as a 7-year-old little girl, I felt so proud of myself because I got a gnarly splinter from my grandfather's porch, and it was big, and I didn't want to interrupt anyone, and so I managed to get out this gnarly splinter out of my finger by myself. And it was painful and it was hard, and I was so proud of myself, and I was like, I was tough and I did it. And now like I can go tell my dad and he'll be like, wow, you're so tough, you did it. And so I ran up and I'm excited, and I'm like, Dad, I got rid of my splinter. And like my dad interrupted me and was like, why do you have to be so fucking loud? Just shut up. Just shut up. And in that moment, I felt like the light, just that childhood excitement, just like, oh, I shouldn't be overly excited whenever I do something good. I need to be a little bit more humble. You know, this is as a 7-year-old kid, I'm not thinking this deeply, but I can look back and reflect on what I was feeling and processing in that moment. And it was just like, I felt ashamed for being proud of myself. I felt ashamed for wanting recognition, you know, wanting someone to feel proud of me. I felt ashamed. Okay. So there's like a moment like this where it's something so minuscule, but you're just like, I shouldn't, like, no matter what I do, it's not that big of a deal. Right? I shouldn't think it's that big of a deal. Like, I shouldn't think it's that big of a deal. And in that moment, you're just like, I'm overexposed. And now anytime I feel like emotionally vulnerable with someone, or I'm showing my excitement, or I'm showing my passion, I'm showing my love, I'm showing my heart, now I feel like I'm about to get backlash. Okay? So you're recognizing this voice in yourself is like a voice from someone around you as a child who snuffed out your light in that moment. It was a critical moment for your spirit soul, right? That just made you feel like my light, my excitement, what matters to me, what's important to me, doesn't matter. Okay, that's very heavy, and I'm sorry that that's what's been going on. That's what happened, but this is you realizing that you have this inner child wound, right? That is speaking these thoughts to this day in your mind, right? Again, awareness is the first step. Okay, what is coming up for Darling to really face this situation? 5 of Swords and Judgment. The Hierophant there. Taurus energy. What's coming up is that you take a moment of your time to muster up the strength and bravery to mentally go back. I talk about this sometimes on my channel, and consciously time travel to these moments as a kid where you needed someone to just be like, hey, great job. You are a tough kid. Wow, look at you. I'm super proud of you. Like, you don't need anyone to fix your like, you know, these moments that were snuffed out, you need to consciously, in your mind, in your thoughts, take your consciousness and relive that moment, right? With your understanding of what you needed now, and give yourself the closure in that moment so that you can move forward. And anytime you're having these feelings pop up where that inner child's like, don't get excited, don't be too loud, don't, you know, don't need attention, don't whatever, don't be yourself, just kind of be quiet, be small, be whatever, don't show yourself, just kind of blend in. Give yourself the acknowledgement that you needed, so that as you move forward, you can give yourself the acknowledgement that you need in the moment, rather than speaking the same voice over your situations where you feel excited, where you feel empowered, okay? This is changing your belief system of what possibly a masculine energy in your life could have really taught you to believe about yourself. I'm too loud. I'm too needy. I'm too much, okay? Giving yourself the love that you needed in those moments. Okay, you're coming up on practicing this so that then you can ease this anxiety and this overthinking that you have that is this other person's voice that's not your soul. Okay, how is Darling kind of experiencing and feeling this situation moving forward? How's Darling processing it all and feeling about it? I'm gonna cry. Because This is the mother of the tarot. Okay. And the most nurturing person. I feel like you're giving yourself, I'm really gonna cry, oh my gosh. Stop it, Hillary, it's gross. It's not gross, but I just don't want to do it on camera. Okay. Y'all, I might have to pause this and get my stuff together. Hold on. Okay, I'm sorry. I needed to get some tears out. They're probably still going, but let's get on with it. So, the Empress of how you're feeling and how you're processing this is you are absolutely enveloping yourself completely in love and nurturing. You're being very sensitive to your needs, okay? And you're being patient with it, you know? But you're seeing how beautiful you are. Again, male or female, it doesn't matter. You have a beautiful soul. You have a tender heart. You are so giving and generous. You're seeing your good qualities and you're speaking that over yourself. You are reparenting, remothering yourself in such a beautiful, empowered, divine way. You're feeling really good about it, okay? Look at the life back in this, the life back in this situation. The yellow, the happiness. Oh, nose is running. Okay. Ooh, y'all. Literally going back with the Six of Cups over your memories, your inner child. So emotional. Okay. How are others feeling about Darling in this part of their journey moving forward? 9 of Wands. Here's the deal. Okay. It's almost like whatever transformation you're making, it might make you a little bit more guarded, right now, because you've got to really work on your relationship with yourself. So you might not be letting a lot of people in, and that's okay. All right. That'll come in time. I feel like where others are also feeling is that perhaps this level of your illumination and your healing and your growth and you finding your light again, it might make others a little like, what do they think they're doing? 33 on the clock, And I feel like the important message here about this is not to take that personally, because when you start healing things within yourself and you start experiencing life better, you start feeling more calm, you start feeling more loved, you start feeling less attached to the way you think others feel about you, worrying so much about it. That level of healing makes people uncomfortable subconsciously in areas that they really probably need healing too. And there's just a lot of the world right now that aren't really focused on that. I feel like we're at a time, in humanity where so many people are focused on becoming more aware of where they have real deep wounds, but there's still a good chunk of humanity that really doesn't want to see that. So your light can really bother them, and don't take it personally, okay? Try not to. This whole practice is you getting acquainted and kind enough with yourself without needing the approval of others anyways, and then that making room for you to actually be vulnerable and close with people, in a better, I don't want to say vibration, but in a better energetic broadcast, I am going to keep going through that just to see if there's anything that wants to come out with the 9 of Wands for how others are sort of feeling or seeing you. 6 of Pentacles. Yeah, okay. Again, because I feel like this isolation, right? The Virgo, the Hermit, Virgo energy. This time is taking you away from people who maybe always had access to your energy, because like I said, there was this emphasis at the beginning of people feeling like they can come talk to you, they can open up emotionally to you, they can share what they're thinking, what they're talking about, where they're struggling, maybe in ways that they couldn't open up to others, or they don't feel like they can trust others, and you are not judgmental. So this time of you isolating can make people feel like, what the hell? Like, why aren't you giving to me the same way that you once were? Like, it might make people feel like they're entitled to your time and energy, and they are entitled to having access to you whenever they want. But that's their own battle to kind of face, right? Yeah. Okay, let's see what are Darling's greatest hopes for this part of their journey, their self-love journey. Complete love. You're like, maybe through this part of my journey, I will have a more clear understanding of what true love is, you know? Not just for myself, but for others. You know? It's like I want to understand what love is in a healthy way. Love for myself, love for others, not over-giving because I'm trying to earn someone's love or respect or admiration, or I'm trying to be better than ever, like not better than ever, better than whatever I feel like I actually am, you know. You just like really want to find what love actually is on a global scale. Okay. Is there anything else for... No. Okay, this is greatest fears, is Seven of Wands and the Devil. Oh, this is you fighting off that inner devil. I really like the Devil card, okay? Because I kind of mentioned it in a reading recently. I don't remember which one it was, but, you know, the Devil card it shows the shadow part of us, you know, that needs attention, that needs love, that needs compassion, that needs non-judgment. Not enabling, but it's that moment right before a breakthrough, right? The devil is right there at rock bottom with people. And when you choose to break through and you choose to use rock bottom as a foundation and build your way up, build your way back up to the top, you become really acquainted with your shadow and practicing that self-love and not necessarily believing everything it says to you. Validating it. I understand why I feel that way, but I'm not going to go drink this feeling away today. It's not good for me. I'm not going to, you know, go spark a blaze and just get out of my mind so that I don't have to be present right now. I'm not going to overeat my feelings. I'm not going to obsess over people and situations that left me feeling less than. I'm not going to give in to hate. Right? That Seven of Wands and the Devil. And you repeatedly just being like, I see you and I see that you're hurt. Self, I see you and I'm working on it. I got you. And building that trust with yourself, showing yourself that inner warrior, right? That then can utilize, like, hey, I learned some great things from my shadow. Maybe I learned how to stand up for myself with the Seven of Wands. Maybe I learned how to not be such a pushover, especially as a healed person. I need both aspects, right? Okay, let's see what are Darling's greatest fears about this situation. Wheel of Fortune, I feel like that things aren't going to change, right? Like, that change just isn't in the cards for me, you know? It'll just be a perpetual loop of me always feeling like I'm having to love myself through something. And the thing is, shadow work and healing is a lifelong thing. But the thing is, when you're first getting started and when it first feels this intimidating, it doesn't feel this intense the whole time. Okay? So even though you are always going to be doing shadow work and you're always going to be having to choose actively to love yourself and to love others and to honor the version of yourself, who needed love as a kid, even though that's perpetual, that's till the end of time, it gets easier the more that you do it. It gets more natural, okay? So you might be worried that it's going to take all of your time and energy forever to keep on this track, and I'm just here to tell you that no, it changes gradually over time. Even though you still have to practice it, even though you have to be conscious of it, it becomes like a second nature choice as you keep doing it, okay? Let's see what the outcome is here. What is sort of an outcome energy here, which is weird because like I said, healing and shadow work is perpetual, but oh my gosh, we got the Emperor out here. We got the Lovers and the Empress and the Emperor, and this is you being completely empowered and balanced in both your masculine and feminine essence, okay? Your polarities, your good, your bad, your shadow, your light. Finding the unity point within yourself, right? Oh my gosh. Again, there could be like a father wound specifically because we've got the Five of Pentacles on bottom, so you might be really finding your empowerment through a father wound that you are addressing, okay? Aries could be significant. We got Capricorn out here too. Yeah, I think I said Leo and Gemini earlier. Ace of Swords. You know how quick you get with your thought revision? This is a mental master here. The Emperor and the Ace of Swords, a mental master. Right now you feel at the, what is that phrase? I don't know the phrase, but you feel like you're overrun by your thoughts, that your thoughts run the show, that you're a victim to your mind, that you're a victim to your thoughts, right? And what you do as you practice this and you keep pouring that love over yourself is you become a mental master beyond what you can even recognize. It's like as soon as a thought pops in, you're like, fuck that thought. Fuck that thought. No, not today. I'm awesome. Everything I do is a love spell. Okay. Everything I do is a love spell, honey. I don't have to believe that. Yeah. I've got long term in mind here. This is you also getting more comfortable with taking inspired action, with showing up, with being vulnerable, with taking steps instead of just waiting for something to feel some type of way outside of you. The Three of Wands can often be about taking the steps that you need to take, right? And leading with your soul. Leading with your soul. When you feel inspired to do something, instead of constantly talking yourself down, you're just like, I can do that, of course. Why shouldn't I try to do that? 43 on the clock. Any other cards here for the outcome? Seven of Pentacles. Again, this is practice makes perfect. Okay. Two of Pentacles. Page of Swords. Queen of Pentacles on bottom. You're just like, I don't care how long it takes. I don't care how long it takes. I am the one who chooses where my time and energy and priorities go with my thoughts and my attention. Seven of Pentacles, Two of Pentacles, Page of Swords. You becoming a mental master. Mental mastery. And loving yourself. Being ethical with yourself. The Queen of Pentacles. You're like, I deserve the same ethics and consideration that I give every other creature and item in existence. Okay. 44 on the clock. I deserve that same level of care and consideration and ethic. I deserve that same amount of nurturing. I deserve to invest in myself long term with the Pentacles. I deserve that. I'm worth that. I'm worth prioritizing. Let me show myself that. Yeah. Okay, any parting messages here for my darling and their self-empowerment journey? This one. Okay. Gotcha. Got it. Let's try to do this before this candle goes out. Any parting messages here for darling? Strength, the Four of Pentacles, the Queen of Swords. I don't feel like I was supposed to put those down, so I'm going to put them back, but I'll interpret this real quick, just in case. Strength, Leo energy, Four of Pentacles, Queen of Swords. So I feel like Spirit is just reminding you that you're strong enough. You have what it takes to overcome this, okay? You have what it takes to stop investing in being such a ruthless biatch to yourself, okay? You're not being mean or rude for setting boundaries with people who take too much of your time and energy, okay? And the more that you honor yourself in the way, the more empowered you're going to feel, and not from like an egomaniac type of energy, like just true belonging and acceptance. Like you give yourself that first through setting boundaries and saying, I'm allowed to have boundaries. I'm allowed to take time to myself and not just give and give and give and give. I'm allowed to stand up for myself, right? I'm allowed to say what's hurt me, right? I'm allowed to speak my mind, to speak my truth. And the more you do it, the more you show yourself, I do belong. I do belong. Yeah. Okay. I said I was going to put them back, but I'm going to leave them out. Okay. Anything else here? What's happening? Where are you? Three of Pentacles, which is right before the Four of Pentacles. Yeah. Okay. Three of Pentacles, Ten of Pentacles, Ace of Swords, Two of Cups, Ace of Pentacles, Six of Swords, Five of Cups on bottom, Two of Swords, Two of Pentacles, Nine of Wands. Okay. So, for some of you, you might be considering moving to a different location. Maybe you're in an area that you really don't feel like you're welcome, okay? Like, I don't know, maybe you're in like a very conservative state and maybe you're more liberal, right? And so that's also affecting maybe the feeling of belonging or not belonging. So Spirit's saying like, hey, it's going to get a little bit harder before it gets better, but it's still like, just trust, because you're putting yourself in an uncomfortable situation of standing up for yourself, of loving yourself, of parenting yourself, protecting yourself, you know, showing up the way that you needed someone to show up for you. That feels uncomfortable at first, but it's good for you. And so if you feel like you need to move so that you are surrounded with people who kind of have the same energy, the same, you know, standards, the same outlook, viewpoints, then that's really being encouraged right now, okay? And this is being encouraged because you could really find golden opportunities where you're then around people who honor and respect this path that you're on because they've already been through it too, right? And so being around people who get it is really important, right? Not that you need that acceptance from other, but Spirit's just saying it's okay if you want to relocate with this in mind, okay? It's still a self-made journey. It's still your job. That doesn't change, but whenever you have a ton of family opposition or a community opposition, that's just an extra layer of difficulty that maybe isn't necessarily necessary, okay? Now, it might bother people if you move. I get that, right? You might be around people who are like, oh, you're breaking my heart. You're breaking my heart. Don't go. Here's all these reasons why you should stay here. Like, I need you around here to help me. How am I supposed to help? How am I supposed to deal with this, and this, right? And Spirit's saying, like, look, other people's jobs are their own. Other people's feelings are their own responsibility. It's not your responsibility. You've got to figure out what is your problem, what's not your problem, and block yourself off from taking other people's responsibility and block off people from infiltrating your own experience too, okay? A new beginning is in the works for you, okay? There's always gonna be people who have something to say or disapproval, and that's okay, all right? That's just for someone, but yeah. I'm going to leave this here. Perhaps... No, I don't feel like any oracles to close it off. We're just going to leave it there. I hope that this reading resonated because I really loved this reading. And I'm really proud of you. And you totally belong. And I totally love you. And I can't wait to see the way that you show up for yourself. So don't freaking forget to tell yourself that you're allowed to love yourself because everything you do is a love spell. Everything you do is a love spell. So how can you not love you? All right. I hope that you have a great weekend. Monday is Manifestation Monday. We're going to see what's going on with manifesting and stuff. So I hope to see you then. That'd be cool. But if not, that's all right too. I hope that you have a great rest of your day, a wonderful weekend, or a fantastic life. I love you so very much. Take care and ta-ta.